All right. Live video Saturday morning. Live video in the workshop. Yes, bring my head together. This will be about 15 minutes long. And there are always so many things to discuss. So many thoughts, so many things. But on a Saturday, I get up in the morning about 8 o'clock on a Saturday, sometimes earlier. And I teach karate at 9. I've got a few students who come to my house to learn old school, traditional, traditional combatives karate style. I use Okinawan forms, and I have a background in, hey, good to see you, Cy Whitmore, LJ, Johan Weiss, my brother-in-law, good to see you with me, Nathan Edging, my brother over in Savannah, Georgia, nice to see you too. Also saw Nick Day on here. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the workshop this morning. So we're in the workshop, and I am. There was a half-hour delay. I've got the nicest two kids coming in. They're probably 20-something, and they're both super smart, and they're in college, and they're coming in to pick up their completes. And these guys came in here and scribed out these two beautiful longboards. They have 17-inch wheelbases. Brian Pace, good to see you. Man, make your videos public, bro. They are so edifying. Richard Harrow, boy, did I ever enjoy our Facebook conversation today. That interchange between the you two guys. Tasha Anderson from up north, good to see you, Tasha. So I have these two gorgeous boards that this couple, now these guys are artists, and so their boards are on a kind of a process. Because these guys are going to do their own art on their decks. I'm going to just move you guys to see these. They're going to do their own art, and I took the extra delay to shoot an extra coating on these tops. I'm sealing the tops on these, but not the bottoms, because these two dear ones are coming in, and they're going to do their own art on the bottoms. And that is not usually the way I do it, but I'm going to put an indelible mark that shows that these are made by me in a nice little secret place, and not make a big deal about the fact. But look at the shape on these two boards. One of them with my four-cornered dimensional nose that I use on the knucklehead. It's a mellow four-cornered. It's very mild. I don't do a highly dimensional, but it's got four distinct points of articulation up there, and they both have a very complicated tail with a fish with an internal line, and then combined outer lines. And they have 17-inch wheelbases. These are free riding longboards with tail and nose kick for park and street skating, and so these two dear ones are coming in today to pick these up, and both of these are going to leave. They're going to leave the house with, let me show you the rest of their setups. Yeah, they're killer shapes. Now, they're both getting the same components on these. These are free riding boards, and that means that there are no rules. I got them a longboarding wheel that I love, Sector 9 Butterballs. They are a soft wheel that's wide enough to slide. And when you have really soft wheels, the wider they are, the more they slide. Thanks for the kind words, friends. I really appreciate the encouragement. You couldn't believe how much I do. Thank you so much. But like the Butterballs, they're going on with 169 trucks. These guys are going to have nice wide rides, buttery. And they have 17-inch wheelbases, so they will be work to ollie, but these kids want to scoot about and just have fun. And while they were waiting for me to finish their custom shapes, they, for the last 3 weeks, they have had 2 loaner boards, because I have 5 boards in here that are for clinics and loaning, and they've been out scooting around on big tall wheels, soft wheels of some of my loaner boards, and just having a blast. So I don't always lend out a board, it's not normal, but these two are just super special kids. And I couldn't be more enthusiastic about making boards for kids who just want a longboard that has some kick and some concave to it that covers their trucks. A lot of fun. So that's what's going out this morning. It's Saturday and it's rainy, so I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of skating today. I can live with that. But over on the benches, I am finishing up work on Bob Lofton's custom. And Bob has got a custom in the make here that has got, this is an example today of a board that I'm really enjoying making. And one reason I'm enjoying it is because this is the kind of thing, whether it's a wheel well setup or something like that. Let me drop you guys down a notch and see if you can get a view with me of this deck. And this is not finished yet. I might drop you down another notch. I'm doing the tripod right now, and just getting you guys on the level with this make. I want to see if I can get you focused. I'm going to touch the screen and have it focus. Seems to have darkened it a bit. Pull up my bench and stick my chain wallet under here. But Bob's got, okay, so I had to dial in Bob's length. What he's really wanting is, wants a deck that really works well for freestyle. Yeah, you guys are still too low. I'm gonna put you here. I'll put you up a little higher. Let's see here. Sorry, tripod moment. 2, and up, and 1, 2. Lots of tech and tripod going on here. And somehow the back one is still not quite right. And still not quite right, and it's because of that. Bada bing. Okay, now you're set. So getting the length right is a lot about getting the height of the tail and the height of the nose to be appropriate to one another. And I did finally wind up, after 3 tries on the nose and 2 tries on the tail, to wind up with the correct length. Bob didn't give me a total length. What Bob did was he broke down his make according to, it's good to see you here, Jimmy Zez. Love you, bro. He broke down his length in basically 675 tail, 675 nose. So some symmetry there. And then 675 from that line to right there, to the circled set. That's where I am right now, at 675. Yeah, and so this one's working. Get my Pika out, and so this one's working here and here, and you can scribe out this, X these lines, here and here, scribe that out, X these lines, and make sure that I'm cutting the correct line there. And then 675 in the back is going to go to my second landing point. Let's see, right here. Yeah, my second landing point. And I knew that one there. And X is on this one. And then the next thing I'll be dialing in are these widths. And Bob's done a cool thing. I love Bob's make because Bob has opted for a gradation of 875 from this point, and from this point, and this point, down to 825 at the center of the truck bed. And this is already 825 truck bed, 825 truck bed. These are my holes. So I'm gonna X, 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 X. And you know what I want to do is I want to leave all this on the top of the deck. I can't because I have to do several sandings and it won't come through right. but leaving all this on, I've done that on a few decks, and I think, in my opinion, if I had a board maker make my board and he left a whole bunch of diacriticals on the top, you know, that would be really cool. 825, 825. And this is based on the shape that is called the Gordon. It's the South Austin Curb Service Fickle deck that I make for Austin, Texas. It's a crew collab. It is a way of branding that gives a wonderful, wonderful piece of respect to a great community of skaters. By doing a crew collaborative. I'd love to do a gutter trash crew board. Clayton Ryan Taylor is one of my favorite skaters and people down there. And so what I'm doing here for Bob is very typical of a lot of my custom work. You know, when somebody has a custom idea, a lot of times they're working with, because look, man, every shape has been done. This is a shape I've called the prototype. It's an extremely typical shape from the early 90s, and I can do this at any width. You know, it's center lined and has marks on it. Here you've got the 9-inch bullnose. This is my popsicle. You got a punk point. It's center lined. I can go out to 10 inches. I can go into 6 inches. You know, I mean, I can do a lot with that one. That one is at 9 inches. Here's a panhead that runs just over 9, and it's got all of its marks, and I can, you know, and the classic, this is the classic in 8.5. I can move that around. I've got a classic 8.25. I've got a classic 9. I've got, I have that Halloween board template that I finished off, and you can tell that the two boards over there have had a custom version of this tail, and I just used the tail to make that. I've got a board here that I made, I believe, for Chris Gurley, and this one, not a shape that I really enjoy riding, but I do believe I made one of these for him. And here is the present form of the knucklehead. I really need to label it in writing. Here's the panhead 8.5. It's an 8.5 over the trucks. The panhead 9 is 9 inches over the trucks, and there is a difference. Bullnose. Here's the ditch dagger. I love the ditch dagger, and again, center line for custom widths. Here is the board that has been going out for Never Was. Very cool deck. Here's the pig. I got a lot of stuff here. Plus, I have a large number of very old half template work that I did. And anytime someone comes in and wants custom, you know, I listen to what they're asking for, and I think, oh, okay. So this custom, Bob actually sent me pictures of the what I'm looking for now is the South Austin Curb Service board, and I wonder if it's underneath this stack. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So this is the Gordon, the South Austin Curb Service Gordon, and Bob said, you know, I want to base it on the Gordon. And so I pocketed up the Gordon like I would normally pocket it up, you know, and I scribed it as if it was just going to be normal. Saturday fun indeed, Edward Pigeon. I love you, my brother. Just a couple more days, and we'll see what's up. So I pocketed it up as if I was just doing a Gordon, and then after I began to work with Bob's lengths, you know, the Gordon has a 7-inch tail, the Gordon has a 7 1/4 nose, and Bob wanted 6.75 and 6.75. So that means I'm going to have to jig with how this sits in order to make sure that the tail and the nose aren't out of proportion to one another, especially since Bob's shooting for a symmetry of height. So I began to play with it, and it only took me, let's see, I did 1, 2, 3 shots and got it. So here we are. You know, I started with this, and now it's time for me to start tweaking the width on this board. And what that says to me is I'm going to take first his truck bed measurement, and I'm going to take his truck bed measurement, and I'm going to create a level line by scribing through the truck bolts here. I'm going to scribe through the truck bolt pattern here and create a truck bed center line first here. Why am I having, it's caught on the wood. I'm gonna make one here. And I'm gonna make one here. And what I'm shooting for is a truck bed center line. And you know, guys, it's not NASA. It's not NASA, friends. I'm just creating a guideline. The destruction of the rider and the rigors of production values and things like that are going to wind up rendering a lot of these lines less than aeronautically, astronautically correct. But these look pretty darn good. And so then I'm going to play around with some diagonals and get myself a rough center. What's ironic right now is that my marks are just going doot-doot and doot-doot. I created some very level marking. I've fallen almost perfectly in the center of the truck bed here. I don't want to talk about the wheel wells right now. What I do love is Christopher Leach, the young gentleman from Connecticut who ordered that deck, has been nothing but extremely encouraging and positive about his whole experience, and he's one of the sweetest bros in skate that I think I could ever have met. And I will update you guys on the wheel wells. Everything's fine. Everything is just fine. I'm not going to take a wheel well order without my jigs built, though. That's just the truth of the matter. Live and learn and live. And never give up. You know, guys, I struggle deeply with issues of lots of burden of depression. Sometimes I'm just running, it feels like at 30% power. But you know what? 30% power is enough power to keep going. You know, you don't have to overcome depression. Just keep going. Just keep going. The lights come on again. Just keep going. But I didn't get depressed because of wheel wells. I think I just needed my dad to hug me more. Many of us have. But my dad, I love my dad. And you all know I love my mom. So these fell very nicely. My marks that I made here, my wheel well markings, my truck bed markings are, you know, you guys put me in a happy mood. Doing these videos has actually been very uplifting. Back in the past, I don't know if you guys know, you can go back in my feed and see that every time I poke my head up, I just got, you know, a massive amount of very intense, oh, God bless you guys. Now you're getting silly. My front truck bed marking, see how it's behind the center of the zone on both of them? They're both behind the zone, but look at how even they are. The point of telling you this is not that I'm a superhero or anything dumb like that, but that your eye is able to see, and you can trust your eye in craft and make your marks, and yes, measure and check. But I have laid out grid on a deck before and gotten terrible results, to the point where I stopped laying out grid on decks. I stopped making lines and checking with lines, and I just started making them with my eye and looking down the board. And you know, I'm also I'm a good shot with a gun too. Like, I get aiming, I get direction and stuff, and my eyes are aging as I grow older, but but I see this consistency up here, and I think, wow, you know what? You guys, we can make things, and we can do things. We really are amazing creatures, and we should enjoy that and be bold and make things. So I'm now going to begin to scribe this width, but the kiddos are going to be here any second now. So when they get here to pick up their boards, I'm going to leave off this. But I'm going to go for 825 in the truck beds. That's where the wheel is. And so 825 is 4.126. And actually, I do have the ability. Let me zero. I'm going to zero this tool. And then I'm going to dial back to 4. 8.25 to 4 and an eighth. An eighth is 126. 4.1 26. There it is. And then I'm going to lock it in. And I'm going to get on this center line. And I'm going to put a little dig right there. Go to the same spot. I'm going to put a little dig right here. Then I'm going to take my punch and put a punch and put a punch right on the dig. All right. And now I've got the rear one centered on 825. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the outer line in. Using the same template, I'm going to make a new outer line and bring it in. That's going to mess with my cornering, and I'm going to wind up, redoing these corners after it's all done so they're not crazy sharp. But I think Bob is going to wind up with a board that looks a lot like a freestyle board. And then I'm going to come up to the front, same measurement, nothing's changed, and I'm going to put a dig right here. And then use the same little spot and a dig right here. And then I'm going to put this aside and a punch and a punch. All right, so that gets my truck beds right. Now I want to deal with my 8.75. And friends, this is a level 3 custom job. This is the highest priced job that I do, and this is a level 3. You go in a site under Cookwood Customs, you choose level 3, you talk to me, we talk about we send back and forth pictures and drawings. You can draw on a napkin. Really, a skateboard is simple enough that design can happen on a napkin. In fact, I love when people do a design on a piece of paper or a napkin and send it to me. I've got some of them hanging on the wall. There's one right next to the flag right there, and I love this sort of thing so much. It's hand-clappingly fun. So 8.75 is a little bit harder math for me. I know that 8 is 4, but 0.75 would be like, that's a half. And half of a half is a quarter. 8.75 is 3/4. And half at 3/4 is 1.5 quarters. See, that's what my brain does with it. So to divide 8.75 in half is really it's 4.37275. 4.37. Does anyone know what it is? Could you comment? I can't do that because I'm using decimals. I'm doing inches and decimal. To the thousandth of an inch, ridiculous. So you see how I have to convert 3/4 into, and it's fine because I know that it's 4.25 is 4.5, and an eighth more than that, 8.5, and an eighth more than that will give me my 8.75. And I know that an eighth is 0.126, so I'm going to go 0.1 and 26. And it's just shy of 4.4. And so there I am with my 8.75. And dear friends, I'm not hitting. I mean, I have hit the thousandth of an inch before, but I'm not living that way. And I'm not skating that way. And you know what? Neither are you. That's not the way the world works. It's not the way things really are. But, if you feel... Bob is not asking me for thousandths of an inch and like that at all. And don't be ashamed if you're asking for a 126 measurement. You really mean an eighth. I'm not holding anything against anyone the way that you're thinking about things. Oh wow, this is cool. Well, Bob was concerned that this might be extreme to dip from 0.75 to 0.25. Because it is a 1/4 inch per side of descent toward the tail. Yes, yeah, just a little less than 4.4. It is 4.3725. Is that the 10,000th of an inch? Oh my. And I'm going to do the same measurement. I've got it locked in on the caliper. Yes, it's 4.3725. I love you guys. And I'm going to come up here. I'm going to put it in an analogous location. It's a little bit deep here in the concave for this, so I'm going to have to do it this way. There's that. One. Sorry, I'm doing too many things at once right there. One. Yeah. And that looks right. And then, same spot. Two. Yeah, that looks right too. They all are in about the same amount. And from here, I'm going to prep for my young friends who are coming here. Oh, I'm telling you, brother, I am ready to make knee boards and whatever you guys want. I'm really enjoying myself in here. And I'm going to take the South Austin Curb Service Gordon that I started with, and I'm going to take that line. First, I'm going to scribe to 875, which is, it's neat. It's neat. I'm enjoying this right now. This will be a fun line. You guys see me? You see how much fun I'm having? This is a fun line. Those Bob Ross jokes, man, those are a fit. They really are. I'm going to bring this down here real quick and bring it to that line. I'm doing a couple of things at once right here. Hey, they're here. I got to let you guys go. I'll catch you on the flip side.